Well, it's time now for another edition of the Canalta Hotel's AJHL Coaches Show, and I'm pleased to be joined by Spruce Grove Saints General Manager Rob Sklaruk. And Rob, thanks a lot for joining us here on the AJHL Canalta Hotel's Coaches Show. We're doing the GM thing this time around, a second show in a row we've had a GM from AJHL member club on our program. First off, congrats on winning first place in the division with the Spruce Grove Saints, and then you guys sweep through Grande Prairie in your first series of the postseason. Just talk about that it's not the first round, but your first round sweeping Grande Prairie pretty handedly.
Yeah, I thought the first round bye for us it was needed. A lot of our guys got healthy. We had time to practice and prepare for either GP or Sherwood Park. I know Sherwood Park maybe softened them up a little bit in the first round. Went the distance of 5 games. Gave us plenty of time to prepare for GP, who came out. That first round for us, I think GP was they gave it everything against us. I just think we were prepared in a way that the high octane offense and the fast pace of play that we do play kind of worked. It fit well for us in that first round.
Did you notice maybe throughout the practices, from the end of the regular season and the time that you guys had, maybe what specifically was Bram doing to get the guys ready? Yeah,
you know what? One of the big things like with Bram is that he does do a lot of video work with the guys. He prepares and he breaks down other teams. If anything, that's sometimes we are over prepared. We do a lot of battle stuff in practice. A lot of specialty teams. I think it paid off, especially in that first series. He's got the guys prepared, and when the guys were let out of the cage in Game 1, they came hard.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems every year that the Saints have had that first round bye. Certainly in the times they played Sherwood Park, that first game is a question mark to see who. What Saint team comes out, and it's usually the team that likes to score that comes out. And speaking of liking to score, a few guys with a good first round, and I'll ask about Jordan Byro, rookie forward with you guys. He had 8 points along with Austin Parmenter. But just touch on the play of Jordan, not only in the first round for you guys, but throughout the entire year, stepping into the Saint lineup.
Yeah. Jordan's been good all year. He's a Sherwood Park kid. Little poke against Chaser. Anyways, he had a great series. He actually had a very good year. He's on that slight size, but he's got very good edges. He's got a mind for the game. His IQ is through the roof. His overall skill, 5-on-5, and also like on the power play. That's where he really excels. Yeah. And is on the man advantage and stuff. Like I said, his line mates, they gelled well together. On the other hand, Parms, his series was against one of his old teams in GP. Both of them had phenomenal series. Yeah.
And I'll ask you about Austin, because he has had a career year and almost kind of resurrected his junior career this season. Last year with the Saints, didn't get into a whole lot of action, and then Grande Prairie just was a younger player. Now he has really flourished in his 20-year-old. How have you noticed the maturity in his game throughout the season?
Right from the get-go, when I talked to Austin kind of in the off-season, told him what was going on with the team, with the new GM and new coach. He did come to camp prepared. He lost about anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds. He was geared physically and mentally to make a difference. One of the most exciting parts of watching Austin grow, in the beginning of the year, Bram named captain and 2 assistants. Parms was named, he got a letter, about halfway through the season, and ever since then his game has taken off. On ice, off ice, he's a leader all the way around, and the guys look up to him. So good. It was good for him to see him grow and watch him develop. Yeah.
Absolutely right. Let's talk about some of your key guys throughout the year, and not only that contributed in that series against Grande Prairie, where you guys scored a ton of goals against the Storm, and one of those guys is Chris Vanish, 50 goals, first guy to do that in quite some time in the Alberta Junior Hockey League. Maybe before we get to Chris specifically, how much does that mean to an organization to have some guy have this accomplishment and something that has been done in the league, or that hasn't been done in the league for over a decade?
Yeah. Well, he is a special player. I think we were lucky to get him when we did. When he came into our dressing room and our culture, Chris we kind of hit it off with him, where it was more of a comfort for him to come in and spend some time like with Ryan Smith, and Bram got his hooks in him pretty quick. He had a lot to get better from his game away from the puck. We knew that Chris could score goals. For him to get to 50 was simply amazing for us and for the Saints. Like I said, he is a special player where he isn't a shoot first guy. He'll make plays and he'll get to the net. Truthfully, there was a player that maybe could have had 60 goals like this year if he was a little bit selfish and a little bit more hungry. But he keeps all guys accountable, even at practice. His work ethic has been great. He's a good teammate. He's a good guy off the ice. So we're lucky to have him right from day one. We made the trade. We did take a little bit of heat in terms of giving him up maybe on Connor Lucan. I know Connor had a great season this year in Humboldt. Good for him. But I think when we made the trade, I think the first week that people got to meet Chris, it was special, and they knew that he was a special kid. Yeah.
And you told me we ran into each other in a game between Spruce Grove and Sherwood Park, one of the final ones in the regular season, and you told me Chris is a guy, he likes to score. He's almost kind of a kid out there on the ice. How key is that for guys to be loose at the same time they want to be, professional in this kind of setting? But how important is it for a guy like that, or anyone, just to kind of stay a little loose, act a little childish at times?
Yeah, you know what, and that's what's special about Chris is he's a mature guy. He's a 20-year-old, but at heart he's just a kid. And I say he likes to have fun in practice. And I know the young guys like Cam Mitchell and Jordan Byro and Seth Fighton who rooms with him at his billets, and those young guys they want to be around Chris. They want to see him work out and just kind of have his back. So those young guys are kind of getting a full season of one of the best players that ever played in the AJ. So I mean it's been great. It's been good for us. It's been good for our coaching staff to kind of deal with that high octane offense and that mind skill. So it's been fun. It's been quite a ride.
Another guy that contributes to your lineup and has done so throughout his career is Josh Harris, your captain, and a guy that he was the Crusader killer throughout some of the years of those playoff series between the Saints and Sherwood Park. Just for you, coming into the scenario with the Saints and then getting a chance to see Josh firsthand, maybe knowing a little bit about him coming in, and now you get the full year with him. Just what does he mean to your organization?
I mean, I think Josh kind of sums it up, and knowing his personality and his demeanor and stuff and his hockey skill set, that's a perfect guy that any junior club would like to have. He's a telltale of what a saint is. Talking to him in the off season and explaining, the route and the way that we're taking. He was named captain kind of at basically kind of the first week, like in the season. Yeah. That was our leader. Just his overall demeanor and his overall knowledge on the game, and him to show up every single night as a 20-year-old, and he's a little bit smaller, but he competes 100%. We couldn't ask for probably a better leader than Josh. I know that him and Ryan and Smitty spent some time together talking about leadership qualities and skills and stuff. So I think now Josh owns every single offensive record there is from when the Saints moved over here in 2004 or 5. So good on him. He's a good kid. I know he's got some. His sister is battling a little bit of cancer and stuff. So I mean that's been huge for Chris, and we kind of rally around that, and like teams do. Yeah. So everything he does everything that Josh does is first class. So we're proud to have him for 4 years, and especially proud to have him this year, and for him to watch him grow and demolish basically every record. Yeah. So.
Yeah, certainly it's a good story for him, and obviously you'd like to bring a championship to Spruce Grove. Every team has that one guy you wonder, how come they don't have a deal yet? Whether it's to a school down south or even just in the within the country of Canada, whether that's at the U Sports level or the college level. And that one of those guys for your team is Josh Harris.
Yeah.
Is there a deal on the way for him?
Yeah, I think something will come out pretty quick here. I think Josh kind of his mindset right now is based on hockey and throwing this team on his back and kind of guiding us. I know Bram and myself behind the scenes are working on some things for Josh. We're talking to some schools. It's something will come out here pretty quick for Josh, and I think it'll be exciting for him.
The organization certainly is known for turning out guys to the next level. We got the wall in front of us, pretty nice piece. But this year, T.J. Lloyd, Parker Soretsky, Brad Forrest going to York University as well. When you're a good hockey team, and maybe not just specifically the Saints, but in your eyes, when you're a good hockey team, do you attract more of the scouts / coaches from the higher level?
I do agree with that. I know, with new management group and coaching staff, we were rookies in a sense where, who do we know? Are schools going to come to us? Are we going to go to schools? I think with Bram's style of play and the quality, people we have on our hockey team, I think scouts will take notice quick.
Yeah.
They like the high tempo. They like guys that can skate and they're physical. The IQ is high. The compete levels through the roof. I think scouts will kind of find them. Being through our first season, we've had a ton of contacts with U.S. schools and Canadian universities. So we help push our kids. We help. We demand the best. From them, so we can get them to that next level. But our contact list has grown. But I think it helps to have the coaching background with like Bram does, type of style and for our contact list to grow for our kids to get looked at and stuff. So it certainly helps to play and win and the scouts will find you.
Let's talk about your D-corps and a few guys off to college down the road. Guys like Sean Comrie, Jared Gourley, T.J. Lloyd, who we mentioned as well. It's fair to say I think you guys have maybe the top D-corps in the league. It seems that you could win a game 2-0 and it feels like a blowout. What do you make of just the talent you have on the back end and really in all facets of the defensive game?
Yeah. I think that's huge. Certainly Brad Forrest, the addition of Brad Forrest and the addition of Jameson Ree midway through the seasons, that helped a lot. That helped kind of shore it up and really with our six out there, even with Tanner Hickey. I mean, I don't think there's another D-corps that kind of match up against us, how they jump up in the play, how they have patience, how they can read and react to certain plays and get up in the play and have good gap control and good first pass players. But they're active. They're not the biggest group, but they're active and their compete level is high. We got lucky, I guess you can say. Bram and I kind of came into this where the T.J. Lloyds and Gourleys and Comries, they were here. But I think Bram and his style of play unleashed another level for these guys to feel more comfort and get some confidence and do what they need to do. So we can play an offensive game, we can play a shutdown game. Little less said about our goaltending. Our goaltending has been great throughout the year. Having Missler play the majority of games for this year. Nolan Kent getting hurt fairly early in the season. We get him back like a deadline deal, and he's on top of his game. Yeah. So that group with our goaltenders and our defense is overly strong. So,
well, my next question was going to be Nolan Kent. When he's healthy, is he the best goalie in the AJHL?
I like to think he is.
I think he is.
Yeah, I've never seen a kid, especially in the back end, and even on all the levels that I've played and been around and watched, how a goalie has an empty net in practice, and you beat Nolan Kent in practice, and you look behind you because that puck could be coming back at you. So he's one of the most competitive goalies I've ever come across, and his demeanor and just his mindset, and like as a goalie, I'd probably put him in the top 2 in the league for sure. Yeah. He's been good for us.
Well, it's exactly, and you need goaltending at this time of the year, that's for sure. Let's get your take on what's going on in the Inter Pipeline playoffs right now. An interesting series between Whitecourt and Fort McMurray. You'll get the winner of that in the North Division final. It's been an interesting series that Whitecourt has really kind of controlled things. Fort McMurray stays alive, and they'll try and do so Sunday night. But just seeing your potential opposition, what do you make of that series?
You know, both coaches, Gord and Tom, they got a wealth of knowledge. I know they got some history together, so there's probably a little bit of an internal combat between them too. Both teams match up well against each other. Yeah. I know, talking with Bram and his breakdown of each game, you know, it's kind of 1A and 1B, the way the type of styles that they do play. You know, selfishly, we're hoping it does go 7. Yeah. If it ends on Sunday night, then we'll be ready for Whitecourt. But if it goes 7 and Fort Mac wins, we'll be ready for both. I mean, it's one of those things where the longer this series goes, you can kind of dial in and kind of get a good reading on their structure and their type of power play breakouts and type of power play setups that they do have, where our coaches they relish in this type of environment where they can break down and adapt and stuff. So, like I said, but they're 2 really good teams. We expect a long series in this North Final, whether it be Whitecourt or Fort Mac. So we had practice today, and the guys are really kind of wanting to get after it here pretty quick here. So we got another few more days of practice, and then get at her on Friday. So. And
then down south, you know, I'll ask you everything. You know, all the signs pointed to a Brooks and Okotoks South final. Drumheller giving the Bandits a good run for their money. Kevin's done a great job down south in Drumheller, and you guys know how hard it is to win in Drumheller. Just what do you make of that series with the Dragons staying alive after being down 3-0?
It's good. I mean, you know, Drumheller was a team that beat us 3 times like this year. I know, talking with Bram. And, you know, when we meet on Mondays and stuff, we had Drum maybe surprising, you know, maybe a few teams in that South. Mm-hmm. But, you know, we'll see. I know Drum's is a tough barn to play in. I know Brooks will be in tough. They'll have their hands full in Game 6 there. If that series goes 7, you know, I know Okotoks is sitting waiting, and they're preparing and stuff. So, I mean, I think the way the playoffs are going is the little bit of breaks now, the way the kids are kind of geared, is that the break does a lot good. They get, you know, they're rested like fully 100%. Coaches are able to kind of, you know, strive and practice and restructure and break down stuff. So I mean, you know, we're hoping that, you know, we can, you know, get to that AJ final, and if it's against Okotoks or if it's against Brooks, it's against Drum, we'll be ready. Yeah. So let them battle out, let them go as long as they can. So, yeah. Well,
you had a really good matchup against Okotoks this past season at Northlands Coliseum, the final hockey game to be played in that building. Just maybe for you, just touch on the experience it was as a GM and maybe as a hockey ops personnel, putting that together, and, you know, working with Ryan Smith as well as the Okotoks Oilers and Northlands, and just all the parties involved to make that a fruition.
You know, one of the big things is that Linz and Dan, you know, our 2 owners, they love us to think outside the box. Yeah. And when this came about, and Ryan came to us and he says, "Hey guys, I want to have a game at Northlands," and, you know, we're kind of going, "Oh, how's this going to work?" And, you know, kudos to Ryan. He did push it. He did use his contacts, and you know, we were able to dress and have a little bit of history in that Oilers dressing room, and bringing our group of guys in there, and, you know, listening to Ryan, some of the stories and stuff. It worked out great. It worked out not just for the Okotoks Oilers and for us, but it was good for the league, just to kind of showcase, get some fans in there. You know, what a great old rink, and the history that thing provides for us, and I think that the fans. We had about almost 6,000 fans for that game, and set a record. But all in all, just the experience that was involved with even for us as a management group to what it takes to run the first class show, and working with Northlands and some upper class people. The experience for both teams, it was awesome, but I know from us on the management side, it was great to set up, and lots of fun, and the outcome wasn't what we wanted, but I think it was more the experience for our guys to get in and kind of see, wow, this is the big time. So
well, I made the joke with Tyler, that was the first good Oiler team to play in that building in quite some time. You mentioned Ryan Smith a lot in this conversation. So Ryan is a part of the ownership group as well as the team. Well, it's obviously important, but just maybe touch on how great it is to have a guy who has played at the highest level possible, not only professionally but internationally, to be around the guys. You mentioned that certain players have had conversations with Ryan. Just maybe his presence with the organization. How valuable is that?
That's a lot of credit goes to Linz and Dan again. Bringing on Ryan as part of the ownership group, and Ryan being named the president of the hockey club. Just as president, Ryan's aura when he comes into the room, and everyone just kind of stops and they kind of go, "Is that Ryan Smith?" I don't think anybody expected Ryan to be as much or as rounded as a team as he is. He's in on beginning of the season. He was in every day, and even Bram's going to me. He's going like, "Hey, Rob, what's going on here?" So Ryan has to get a good feel for the game. He does have a good feel for the game. He knows good judgment of character. He's captain Canada. So the guys aren't afraid to kind of poke some fun when they got Ryan and ask some questions about playoff days or moments of Ryan's past career. So just having him around and his knowledge has been awesome. It's been great. We have our Tuesday meetings every week, and Ryan runs those meetings, and we kind of see what think outside the box thinking, and how we can help our team, and how we can help the AJ and grow this league into something special, and to use guys like Ryan Smith. We want more of them involved. It'd be nice if Sherwood Park and Woodwitka. There's just the history and the knowledge that these guys have, and their demeanor and how they carry themselves is their first class guys, which is good to see in the league. So it's awesome. Ryan's been great. He's been awesome.
Yeah, certainly players do feed off. In my time coaching and just being around the Crusaders, is that guys feed off guys who have been at that next level. We'll leave you this, Rob. You guys await an opponent in the North Division final. What's going to be, whoever it is, what's going to be key to success, not only in that best-of-7 series, but achieving the ultimate goal and winning the league and getting to that Doyle Cup series against the BCHL?
I guess the biggest thing for us is we have depth, and we have kids that can kind of come in and out of the lineup. We have kids that can kind of play in all situations. I know in the past the Saints had never been past the BC Alberta final. They've never been as far as that. That's been our goal, like all year, was just to achieve and get there. We still have a long road ahead of us. We're hoping for a good hard series against either Whitecourt or Fort McMurray. We're hoping for a quick series. We're hoping that they go 7. So we're hoping for a quick series, and we hope to get some rest, get into that final with the AJ final, whether it be like who it's against. But you know what? It's just like we tell our kids every day is change. When kids change, they kind of lose focus and stuff. So we want change to be, why change? Just be the same. Just be yourself. Come to the rink, have fun. Develop and get better every day, and that's been our mindset right from day one. Is everything's earned, nothing's given. So what these kids do, and if they compete and they battle and they do all these small things and pay attention to detail, they'll go as far as they want to go. We have a good group of kids, good coaching staff. We're excited to see where we go from the next round and then the round after that. But boy, it'd be great for a lot of us. New management staff, new coaching staff to kind of go the distance. So, our goal's there at the end, but we have a long ways to go.
Absolutely right, and that's why you play the games. Well, Rob, thanks a lot for joining me on the Canalta Hotels AJHL Coaches Show, and stay tuned throughout the rest of the 2018 inter-pipeline playoffs, we'll have more Canalta Hotels AJHL Coaches Show. Might be a GM, might be a coach. We'll see. But Rob, thanks again for joining me here today.
Perfect. Thank you.